And to everyone out there listening, welcome to another episode of the Professional Heels Podcast. You have me, Brennan Cabino, also known as the Black John Cena, and you have my man, Gavin Gabriel, also known as the Sexy Goldberg. And today we welcome you to an Extreme Rules prediction episode where we will tell you what we think will happen in Extreme Rules, and we'll kind of talk about the product in general and just have a good chat. So, my man,
yes,
how are you doing today?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. First pay-per-view of our third season.
Yes, sir.
Extreme Rules. This year, it's actually got Extreme Rules. I think the last year pay-per-view there was one match with a stipulation on it, and other than that,
it's just space. It was
nothing. So I guess Triple H back at the helm. I think we lucked out. I think every match on this card actually has a stipulation this time.
Stipulation to it, yeah.
And it's in Philly, which home of ECW. Crazy crowd. It is a ridiculous stadium. They love their extreme matches, so I think we're gonna get a lot of love for this pay-per-view. Pretty decent looking card as well. Yeah. A couple teasers going forward, and then kind of setting us up through the end of the year. But how you doing, brother?
Yeah, all is good on this side. I'm just chilling. I'm excited to see what's going on or what's going to happen for the pay-per-view. I'm just enjoying the product as I've been enjoying it for the past few months now, and yeah, I'm just excited. Really, I'm just excited. I don't really have much to say other than good, good positive mood is how it's what's in me right now. I'm just in a good mood, and I've been in it for some time. So yeah, fucking love wrestling, huh?
It's good right now all around. WWE anyway. Before we dive too far into the card, or into the card at all, a lot of teasers coming out for this White Rabbit, and a lot of people are saying that this is where we'll get where it'll come to fruition. The closer we get to it, the more it's looking like it's going to be Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But knowing WWE, seeing how Triple H is kind of like throwing these curveballs and trying to keep us guessing and bringing something new to the table week after week. Mm-hmm. What are the chances that it's actually not Bray Wyatt? Who knows? It's looking like it's going to be Bray Wyatt. The teasers and the hints, and if you follow everything, like it looks like it should be Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
What do we think?
It's interesting because I think it's Bray Wyatt. But, with WWE, right, and because Triple H is at the helm now, I kind of feel like, this could happen. But it's a thing where, everyone's talking about it. Everyone on social media, even with the shirts that have been released and the people in the audience on the shows, everyone's just saying it's Bray Wyatt. So what are the actual odds that it's not Bray Wyatt? Because maybe WWE know that them promoting this to be the White Rabbit, or to what is the White Rabbit, blah blah blah, and everyone can only think of one person. Who knows if it actually is Bray Wyatt? Because what if WWE just say, well, the White Rabbit is this person, people be underwhelmed, and then Bray Wyatt comes out of nowhere in the next episode of Raw. Do you understand? That's kind of something that could happen myself, and I don't know. I mean, 90% sure with Bray Wyatt. I'm pretty darn certain it's Bray Wyatt. But I'm just thinking, because of the fact that it's so obvious that it's Bray Wyatt,
that's what
are the chances that they might give us like a massive curveball and be like, actually, you thought it was going to be Bray Wyatt, but it's not. And Bray Wyatt's going to come very randomly, and that's going to shock people. So
I think if you look back 2 weeks ago, before it was like you had any of like the keywords where you're like, okay, this has to be Bray Wyatt. There were a couple names still in the pot, but I think the more and more obviously it sounds like it's Bray Wyatt, the more I get a little suspicious about it.
Exactly.
And I always think back to when they were doing the vignettes for what a lot of people thought was going to be Sting, turned out to be Undertaker, and then not only was it Undertaker, but Triple H also came back. So they did a double return with one vignette. I don't think I've ever seen much like that. No other examples I can think of in comparison off the top of my head, but like you were saying, like maybe they throw a curveball and it's someone else, and then Bray Wyatt comes out also. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that could happen, but again, we will never know until we actually see it.
And will we actually see it at Extreme Rules? Because I think they've already teasingly said that it's going to happen here, and it just keeps, it's just more and more teasers.
It's more and more, and I think even on the, I saw on the Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins promo, not package, you know the poster, bloody hell, I couldn't say the word. On the poster, there was like a Latin, I can't even say it, man, I think it's just gone out the window, bloody hell. There was like, you know what Bray Wyatt brings
the lantern
and what's not. The lantern, that's it. It's just, I blame my accent for this. The bloody lantern, yeah. The lantern. But, and I think that's hidden in the back of that poster. So people are like, oh, Bray Wyatt's got to come. Like, that's definitely Bray Wyatt and what's not. And I'm like, well, I don't know. But listen, I'm certain he's going to come out on Extreme Rules. The question is, when in Extreme Rules and who in Extreme Rules is he going to come out to, and what's he going to do? Obviously he's going to beat someone up, but like, you know, like, what's happening? You know?
It's looking forward, and we won't dive too much into it, but with the War Games coming up not long after Extreme Rules, there are a couple possibilities as far as like those 4-man teams. Obviously the Bloodline being a group that they could do with one. But Judgment Day being, you know, Damian and Finn and Dominic, maybe Bray Wyatt is the fourth man in that, and go against them. He has the same kind of demeanor and the same kind of like off-kilter, evil kind of vibe that would fit with Judgment Day a little more than just throwing a random heel in, throwing a Seth Rollins with them. Like they try to come off like they're a little more than just heels. They're like otherworldly heels. So maybe, I don't know, but got to get through Extreme Rules before we get to that. And all the stipulations going on in this match or this card, it looks like it's set to be a good card. Starting off, Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins, they're bringing back the fight pit, which we saw once or twice in NXT. I think Matt Riddle was actually in that one as well. To add a little bit of the MMA background, give him a little benefit. I haven't been keeping too much on Matt Riddle. I know Seth Rollins looks like he's beginning to be polished to kind of get back in that main title picture, maybe at least until Cody comes back or Brock or someone else. But Matt Riddle, they've been slowly starting to make him a more serious character, and I don't know how I feel about it. I know I wanted it, but now that I have it, I'm not entirely sold on it. Yeah,
I mean, first things first, I think Rollins wins this match. In terms of Riddle being more serious, I think when it initially happened, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is good, you know. Away from Randy, or I don't know if it was fully away from Randy, because, you know, I think maybe just before the injury, I can't really remember the timeline. But, you know, it was looking, it made sense, you know. He's under Randy's wing. Everyone knows who Randy Orton is. Randy Orton is a great guy, but he's also a sadistic bastard. He's, you know, you never know what to get from him. And it's a thing where, you know, Riddle's under his wing now, so Riddle becoming more serious makes sense. And with Randy gone, now Riddle can be a lot more serious and be his own guy. But it kind of got derailed when he went away for a bit. Because now he's back, it's like, I can't see anyone really vouching for Riddle to win this match. Let's say, you know, he comes back, no, he's back already. Let's say
he lost all the steam he had.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Let's say he wins this match. All I would say is, why is he winning it? Like, what's that going to add on for it? Because he had the steam and he lost it. And what people need to understand when it comes to pro wrestling is, injuries happen and injuries suck, but injuries can suck at an even worse rate when you are at the top of your game, your character's at the top of your game as well, and the fans love you, but that injury completely derails you. Because a lot of the people were liking you because of how great you were and your momentum were. So when your momentum eventually dies, you die. Or when your momentum dies before the point you can reach your actual full potential, it just completely shatters. Do you understand? And this is an issue where
I agree.
Like, you know, it wasn't WWE's fault for not pulling the trigger, because essentially he did get injured anyway. But like, you know, once if the trigger isn't pulled to a point at at a time where the character isn't or hasn't fully, reached the top of their potential, or not just their potential, but like the top of being a crowd favorite, then it's gone. And to replicate that is very difficult and almost impossible in some situations.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones where, Riddle winning this wouldn't make any sense. It's going to Rollins. It has to really go to Rollins because, Rollins is great and Rollins can lose matches and still be at the top of his game. But to lose to a Riddle that isn't really at the top of his game in terms of, just how great his character is and the momentum and how the crowd feel about him, it would just be stupid. So I'm giving it to Rollins, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And on top of the injury, a lot of people made a reference to when Triple H first came into power and Austin Theory started getting roasted in these promos, and people were like, that killed the buzz because they were going like off the script, like, oh, your daddy's not here anymore to hold your hand. I very much, in recent memory, the last thing I can remember with this Rollins-Riddle feud is the satellite promo they shot, and then they pretended to have it end, and then Rollins called him a bitch ass for his family leaving him and all that stuff. And then they had a match, and Rollins won that too. So I think the promo with that match killed any real evenness that Riddle and Rollins had, and now I just look at it as Rollins is on his way back to the main title, and Riddle is stuck in this limbo with the mid card. And I know they give him the fight pit match to give him the home field advantage because he's former MMA and he's actually done these fight pit matches. But like, I don't know. I don't see Riddle winning this one. So I agree with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving forward, we have Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match. Two things going into this one. Edge has made it clear recently that he doesn't plan on doing this much longer. Give him another year or so, give or take. But he's on that home stretch on his farewell tour, as he should. He doesn't owe the industry anything. He's gonna get to go out on his terms, I think. But that combined with recent news that WWE has big plans for Finn Balor, supposedly. Again. And as they should. He's been out of that main title picture for a while. He's Mr. Consistent. He's always putting up good matches. He's always doing the best with what they give him. I think I see Finn Balor winning this one. Possibly setting up for, again, touching on what we said, a Judgment Day War Games match. Maybe against Edge and Rey Mysterio and whoever else they can get.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you. I don't know. I don't even know how old Edge is, if he's in his late 40s or his 50s, but I know in general he's had a great time on his return with WWE. He's done, he came back as just Edge, the one that everyone loves. He changed his character to become more edgy. People still love that. He's back to his normal character, and he's done that all within just 2 years, 2.5 years, and he's done an amazing job. He's done an amazing, a very, 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 very good job. And he knows it himself. Obviously, people wanted him to have a title run. A bit difficult one, because, Roman Reigns is the top guy. You don't really want to throw that, just give it to Edge. No offense to Edge, but, he is in this retirement saga now. He's in this, he's reaching his twilight years now. And, I don't see any point of Edge winning this match. I kind of feel that, Edge had this crew taken over by Finn Balor. He's done this whole thing with Rey Mysterio and Dominic and so on and so forth, and he's lost Dominic, and all he has is Rey and blah, 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 blah. It just makes sense. Storyline wise, it just makes great sense for Finn Balor to just basically just take the win and make Edge quit and just annihilate him, because that would then make everyone think, wow, okay, Edge really is in his twilight years, and now we can sort of take the Judgment Day a lot more seriously, rather than it just being an emo stable. Do you understand? Because that's what we want to steer it away from. Because when Edge had it, it looked legit, right? It looked sick. the music, because Edge's music, everything just looked great. Then when Finn Balor came, it looked nice, but it didn't hold any substance. It was nothing.
Yeah.
I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't really get it. But now, if you kind of make Finn Balor win something like this, a big match, you're taking down the original leader of the group you're in now, that's it. You solidify yourself as that guy. So I'm definitely going for Finn in this one.
I think I agree with you as far as like the direction of the group. I think I was okay with them when they were messing with the Mysterios. I don't get with the whole emo dark goth look. Sure, Dom can be there because they switched him to the dark side, but just him walking around with this mullet, and I'm just like, that doesn't fit still shave it to a mohawk or take it off or something. But maybe Finn picks up this match or this dub with a returning Bray Wyatt to help with that, or even as they've kind of been teasing that Finn's trying to recruit AJ Styles, who's not really doing much at the moment and should be, because AJ's not too far behind Edge. He's been doing this for so long. He's got to be at least nearing that home stretch, that final run. So maybe AJ comes around and turns heel, goes with Finn Balor. I think Finn and AJ as like an indie group leading these gothic Australians, and I don't know, but at this point in his career, Edge, and I think he would agree that he is helping polish the next generation. So a loss at any point now for Edge doesn't hurt his legacy or anything that he's contributed. It's him helping the next wave of superstars. So I think Finn Balor wins this one with either AJ or Bray, someone coming to make that a full group, or setting something up for War Games, possibly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Moving forward, we do have the Brawling Brutes, which I believe is Pete Dunne or Butch, and against Imperium. Yep, Ridge Holland, who's actually looked really good recently.
Yes, I saw that.
He's been putting in work. Yeah. He is kind of taken, and I don't know if it's because he's with Sheamus and Pete Dunne who have been keeping this momentum, but when it was like him and Madcap Moss who came in, it looked for a while like it would be Madcap Moss who had like a higher trajectory. Yeah. And they took him off Corbin, and he made him a face, and now he's just like a very basic creator wrestler kind of guy, where Ridge Holland now with this group and with the power of Sheamus and the respect that Sheamus is finally starting to get against Imperium, who everyone loves and who's some brawl. Like, this is going to be a good old fashioned brawl, I think. Yeah. And looks really good from a tag team aspect. I'm not sure. Are they doing a 3? Is it a 6-man tag, or is it doing 2v2?
I'm pretty sure it's a 6-man tag because the Imperium is they're
Walter and Sheamus in it. Yeah. And
I think I'm pretty darn certain is all 6 of them to get in a match to fight each other. But that's been really good. I've been really enjoying the holy hell out of that. It's one of those ones where it feels like Japanese style of wrestling or Japanese sort of program where you've got these 3 guys who, especially Sheamus and Gunther or Walter. Wait, Gunther. Oh, which one?
Gunther now, yeah.
It's Gunther
now. Formerly known as Walter, yeah.
Formerly known as Walter. So you've got Sheamus and Gunther, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct.
Who put on a hell of a match at Clash at the Castle.
They've been having a hell of a match at the Clash. Oh my god, whatever. That debut in Wales. I'm not getting my names right, bloody hell. They had a great match there. They've had a great program. They've been doing amazing in general. Like, they've managed to get the characters as these 2 big men who are great at wrestling, who know how to beat the holy hell out of each other, who look legit, are legit, and have got their crews around them to help them go forward. And it's like, you've managed to create such legitimacy with the Intercontinental Championship, right? to the point where even now that doesn't even matter with these people, because they're having a match, right? A tag team match, or at Extreme Rules, and everyone knows that once that match is over, it's back to Sheamus and Gunther, back to Sheamus and Gunther for that IC title. Whereas if this is like a year ago, when the IC title meant absolutely nothing, it would have been like, oh yeah, I forgot Gunther's is an Intercontinental Champion, and that was really it. But now everyone's like, oh, we can't wait to see what's gonna happen, because whoever wins this match is gonna allow either Sheamus or Gunther to get the upper hand for their next Intercontinental Championship match. And it's one of those where it's just great. I've been enjoying the holy hell out of that program. Even this SmackDown just gone, Gunther beating the holy hell out of Sheamus. Sheamus just taking like a real G. But in terms of who wins, this is the thing. I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah,
I'm stuck. I feel that
just because it's the six man 3v3. I'm not sure who I want to edge this out to. Yeah, if it had just been the Slackies versus Slackies, no offense to any of them, all four of them are amazing. But if it had been the Slackies, I think I would give it to the Brawling Brutes. But because Gunther's there, he's the IC champion. He's been a dominant as far as a mid-card champion goes. It could go either way, but I do see a very possible that this steals match of the night.
Yeah.
I just think it has the right stipulation. It's the right group of people to do an Extreme Rules match to just kind of beat the hell out of each other. It's the right group. It's 6 guys who are going to leave this bloody and bruised and beat, and they're going to all leave it all on the table. And I think this, on paper, this looks to me like it could steal match of the night.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. I actually think that the way this is, right, one, this is definitely, I'm pretty certain it's going to steal match of the night. But also, I'm actually going to edge towards the Brawling Brutes to win this match. And the reason why is because of the booking-wise. If the Imperium mess up Gunther, right, they mess up Gunther, they make Gunther lose himself, or Gunther tries to carry them, but they're too crap, and one of them just takes a pin from like Sheamus or whoever, right? That could create a sort of angle where Imperium are just not good enough for Gunther. Gunther then goes or tries to go solo for a bit, right? In him going solo, he becomes weaker. Well, not necessarily weaker, but like he realizes he's not as good as he thinks he is alone. And then for his next match with Sheamus, he loses the IC title to Sheamus. And then
the 1v3 is just a little too much for him.
Yeah, and does that make sense? Like, I kind of feel that it would make sense for the Brawling Brutes to win because the Imperiums aren't good enough, or Imperium just mess up or what's not. And that way, it could just create an angle to kind of, make Gunther weaker, lose the IC title, but still hold that legitimacy towards him, rather than just him lose the title and then that's it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, if by him losing his team because of his head or what's not, or just whatever reason, right? And then he loses to Sheamus clean. He doesn't necessarily look weak. He just looks like, oh, maybe I am stronger with my team around. Come, let's ride out, basically. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
just, for like a long-term booking standpoint.
Yeah, sort of long-term booking. I'm trying to think long-term, but I think I'm actually giving it to the Brawling Brutes. I give it to Brawling Brutes.
I agree with you. And I think the 3 of them look better than the 3 of Imperium right now. I think Walter to Sheamus, I'd give Walter the edge, but the full group, I think the Brawling Brutes, they just put up a really good match against the tag team champions. So maybe this is something. They get the dub that projects Sheamus into getting another IC title match. It projects the Holland and Pete Dunne into getting a tag team title match. Yeah. Maybe sets us up for even like a 4v4 War Games, maybe? Bloodline versus the Brutes and Drew? Something like that? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
That'd be something.
It'd be something, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Brawling Brutes will win this one. It'll be Sheamus pinning one of the Slackies, but it should be a good match. It'll be a hard-hitting match.
It'll be a solid match, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This next one, I am excited for the matchup. I don't know how I feel about the stipulation of it being a strap match. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross, two big, buff dudes who don't like each other. They're going to beat the hell out of each other. But I don't know how I feel about it being a strap match.
Strap matches are interesting because I've never really how can I say that? I understand why it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it has worked, like with the I can't remember what the actual name was, but Eddie Guerrero and JBL had a match like that. Brock Lesnar, Undertaker had a match like that. It was a thing. I feel like it was a thing that was a lot more popular in the Ruthless Aggression era, right? Where it was just like, if you're like these two sort of hard hitting guys, or guys who just hate each other, you can't run away from each other, so just beat the holy hell out of each other. That's where you kind of had the strap match implemented, where like you can't separate, you can't run away, you had to beat the holy hell out of each other basically, and because of that, right? Because of that sort of mindset towards that match, it actually makes sense to me for why Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre are having this match, because they're two big guys. They don't like each other for whatever reason. I actually can't remember why they don't like each other, but they don't like each other, and they want to beat the holy hell out of each other. And I guess it gives sort of Karrion Kross that legitimacy as of a sort of, I'm a guy who's not a coward. I'm not a coward heel. I'm a guy who I want to have a fight. I'm not going to run away from you. I'll beat you up. Basically, I'll give you a good knocking. And Drew McIntyre has always been that guy who's always up for a good fight. We saw it in his program with Sheamus. We've seen it in his program with Goldberg, with Brock Lesnar, even Roman Reigns. He always has a good fight. Do you understand? So it's one of those ones where, because of that, it does make sense. I'm not really the biggest fan of a strap match because it's really a hit and miss, and I really don't like a hit and miss so early into a rivalry. Yeah, I don't want a hit and miss match so early into a rivalry, but I'm excited for it. I think the win. Yeah.
No, go. No, you can finish up.
I'm thinking. I don't know who the win goes to. I think this one's just going to end like maybe they just both get knocked out. To be honest, and it's just a double out or something. I don't see any of them winning.
See, my issue with the strap match, it's not that I hate it. I get it from an aspect where, like, with Eddie and JBL, it was Eddie's trying to get his title back. JBL keeps running. He keeps running away. He was the cowardly heel. He would take the escape route. The strap match, they're stuck together. He can't run no more. Yeah. Same thing with, I think the most recent one I can think of was The Fiend, right? It was Daniel Bryan. And that's like, The Fiend is like this demonic evil. And it's like, Daniel can't run. Like, he has to stay right there and he has to fight him. Yeah. Which I get that. Yeah. Karrion Kross is very close. I wouldn't say very close, but the same like category as Bray Wyatt, where it's like this. He's an actual character with a little bit of an evil side, and he has like the mysticness. And if they teamed him up with Bray Wyatt and made a faction, that would be awesome. But he also is like he's a little bit of that mixed with like the Drew McIntyre, like get in your face, brawling, let's fight kind of thing. So I don't think the strap was necessary because I don't think either of these guys are going to run from each other. I don't see Karrion quite as much of a entity as Bray Wyatt when he was the Fiend in this kind of match. They could have done, a last man standing match for this, or Falls Count Anywhere, or this is the kind of match where if they took it backstage, I'd have seen it really realistic. I think I take Karrion Kross, and I have a very specific scenario in my head. They're going to be going. Drew's going to somehow get a hold of his sword, and he's going to go to swing it at him, cut the strap in half, and that's going to freeze him for a second, and then it's going to cost him.
Oh,
So I think Karrion will lock in his, what do you call it, doomsday device or whatever, his submission. And I think bringing Karrion back right now, I think they need to give him a win against someone as dominant as Drew.
Yeah.
I know we wanted Drew to win the title at the last pay-per-view. He didn't. Him beating Karrion Kross here isn't going to put him right back in the title picture. I think Karrion being newly back, and they want to give him a good first impression this time, unlike when Vince brought him up. I think Karrion needs this win more than Drew.
Yep.
And I think that's how it'll come. It's that he's still carrying the sword around. I'm pretty sure he's gonna cut the strap off, and then Karrion's gonna use the strap as a choke and something like that. Yeah. So when that happens, come let me. Yeah. But moving forward, we only have 2 title matches on this card, which is probably my only complaint. And that it's both of the main women's titles. So again, no Roman, there's no Usos, there's neither of the middle card titles are being defended. But firstly, we do have Bianca versus Bayley in a ladder match. Bayley Slackies just won the tag titles. I know you were saying you're not too fond of this Bayley faction, but I also think if Bayley is going to be the one to dethrone Bianca, this is probably where it should be.
Sense. Yeah, for sure. I was literally thinking that just now. It would make sense for Bayley to win. I mean, no offense to Bianca, everyone out there knows I love her. Maybe I just haven't been watching Raw or the women's as much as I should be, but I have not felt anything with her title reign in a good while. And I mean, after she won it from Becky, I was like, this is great. She's dominant. She had her match, I think, against Carmella. I can't even remember. She had a match against someone.
A fill-in. Someone got hurt, and Carmella had to fill in.
And Carmella had to fill in. I can't remember who the girl got hurt. I was like, all right, cool. She's done what she could, basically. It feels like another Big E sort of title reign where,
it ran dry really quick.
Yeah, you got the title, you did what you could, you didn't do anything bad. Nothing with what you did was bad, but because the card hasn't really been hitting and the title matches are just like, they're just okay or good, it's not really something where it's like, okay, we're going to keep this guy as a champion for more than 3 or 4 months, do you understand? So it's them ones where I feel that Bianca definitely loses now, because if Bayley's Slackies are the tag champions, which I believe they are, it would only make sense, especially if Bayley's trying to be this new dominant girl, for her to win the Raw Women's Championship. So I'm with that one.
And with the stipulation ladder, no DQ, it gives a chance for her Slackies to help, or for Asuka and Alexis, who kind of been teaming with Bianca, but I don't think they're a team. I don't really know what's going on there.
That doesn't make sense. I don't take that seriously, because they're not.
But another event where, the seeds, I know everyone loves having this new Alexa back, but they've been kind of teasing her still, like, what, is she back or is she not?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So maybe this also just the seeds are planted to have Bray return here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bray return here, and she possesses Alexa. Alexa screws over Bianca, adds another layer. If that does happen, I would like Bray to already be, like, I'd like his return, if he comes this card, to be for something else, and then him also return in this match to be like, but if him returning is to turn Alexa back, I'd be like, I think that's a waste of a return.
I'd be like, come on, man.
Come on.
I'd be like, all right.
I liked them together. It was cool, but if they let him kind of have his fingerprints all over this card, like everything we've already touched on him coming to do, if he comes for all of them, that'd be different. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. Bayley.
If they're gonna take it off Bianca for Bayley, at least this is probably the best spot to do it.
It has to be now.
Yeah.
Don't try
before Bianca's run just gets completely discredited, and before, I mean, with everything going on with Bayley, this would be the time to give it to her.
Yeah.
I think Bailey takes it. No offense to Bianca. She is a good champion. I'm glad they gave it back to her and let her actually hold it for a little while.
Yeah.
But they probably need to take it off of her before it looks like she had a very subpar run.
Yeah.
You know. Yep. Which brings us to what I believe will probably be the main event. SmackDown's women's title. Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. I don't care. They've been trying with both of them, and I've seen flashes of like Liv is starting to do this. Like she won the title, and it was this pity. Oh, I won it with the briefcase, and then I barely won with the injury, and and it was like they were playing into her being should she even really be champion?
Yeah.
They've been kind of making flashes of, okay, she's trying to be a fighting champion. And same thing with Ronda. They were trying to shove her down our throats, and which is why people keep turning on her. So they say, okay, let's lean into her being a heel. And a couple of the segments where she'd come out, get fined, and then beat up the general manager kind of thing, I'd be like, okay, I can appreciate Ronda being a heel. She should be a heel. But it's just getting a little stale.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily. Everyone wanted Liv Morgan, but exactly the same thing we were just saying with Bianca. I think it's at the point where she needs to either completely change her look or style, or they need to take it off her and let her build from scratch.
I'm gonna keep it buck. Liv Morgan is a great performer.
Yeah.
For who she is, what she does, and how she carries herself, I'm on the side. And I always will be, because, like, it's not every day, have a girl who's a champion be, like, really angry and more serious and what's not. Like, she's a good wrestler. She's a good character, and I know that her character is herself. And I really appreciate that in any sort of person where they are themselves, because that's then they can be their best self when they are who they really are, if that makes sense. Where the character, they allow them, you know what I mean, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan. She's been champion, and when she was a champion, I kind of felt like they tried, because obviously they kind of missed the gap, with, they missed their cue with the Elimination Chamber, with making her the Raw champion. I feel that if they went for the route where she became the Raw champion after winning the Elimination Chamber, and then beating Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, that would have been a great hero moment, right?
Yeah,
that would have made more sense. But that didn't happen. Whatever. She took it off Ronda, winning the Money in the Bank. That's fine. That's fine. Reign has been dead, quite frankly. But the thing is, I know she's tried. But the thing is that I remember, I still can't get over that promo that she had. I think after she had that match with Ronda Rousey again, and she just, I think she said she said something was shit, or I've been a bit shit, or something like that. I can't remember what she said, and I remember just being like, oh, babes, no. But again, I can't blame her. I'm going on and on, but what I'm saying is that her reign has been shit. It's not entirely her fault. They're trying to pity her. Or they tried to pity her, then they tried to not pity her and make her more serious, which I can actually respect, because it does seem a bit better, but at the end of the day, it still isn't it. It's gone from shit to, okay, this is not too bad, but because it's been so shit before, it isn't going to really help. And the thing is, she beat, Shayna Baszler pretty clean, did well, so on and so forth. But I
think it's too little, too late.
Yeah, it's just too late. It's just too late.
Even when I said it as probably the main event, it registered in my head. I was like, I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not, because that's not a good way to end what otherwise looks like a pretty good card.
Like Liv, I love Liv, and before anyone actually calls me a Liv hater. No, I'm not a Liv hater. I don't hate Liv, but I don't see the need for her to carry it on, because I feel like by her holding on to that title reign at this moment, it would just damage her reputation. Maybe after some time, she comes back or another program or so and so forth. Cool, that would make sense. But right now, it doesn't make sense for Ronda Rousey to be losing to Liv Morgan clean. It just doesn't make any sense. If Ronda Rousey is meant to be the dominant force, right? She should not be losing to Liv Morgan. That's literally it. So I'm going for Ronda here. Ronda has to win. I really hope that's not the main event, though. That would suck. But I don't know what would be the main event. So that is probably most likely to be the main event, simply because of the fact that it has Ronda Rousey in it. Shout out to Ronda Rousey. I love that girl.
We do have a week, but I doubt them making a main event on the last week with little build. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I have Ronda taking that away. Hopefully they do let her just kind of destroy Liv Morgan, but in like a dominant, cheap, dirty heel. Let her get hate. People love to hate Ronda, so let her do everything she can to get hate, especially in a stipulated match.
Yeah,
which I honestly don't even remember what the stipulation was. It's just an Extreme Rules match, so no holds barred, pretty much.
Yeah, casual.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That wraps up the Extreme Rules card. Only other thing I'm going to run by you real quick, and we'll wrap it up. The following Monday is the 25th anniversary of Raw. We have a scheduled DX reunion. There are rumors that Billy Gunn will show up for it. Oh. What do you think? Do we get any sort of fourth wall breaking collaboration? What was it? The Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. They kind of took a couple shots at him, and it was Triple H. And Triple H isn't afraid to acknowledge AEW as a competitor, as a so. Well, what are the chances of A, we actually get Billy Gunn, and B, if we get Billy Gunn, them making a Scissor Me Daddy or some sort of AEW reference towards him? I think if he's there, they definitely acknowledge it, but I don't know if he actually shows.
Yeah, it depends. Like, what DX are we going to get? Are we going to get the full DX? Obviously, not the full DX from the 90s, because, people aren't around anymore, but... are we just going to get Shawn and Trips, or are we going to get Shawn, Trips, X-Pac, and so on and so forth? If that's the case, then Billy Gunn has to come back. I feel like because it's the 25th anniversary of Raw, they would probably ignore it. I do think Road Dogg and X-Pac are confirmed. If that changes anything. If Road Dogg and X-Pac are confirmed, then Billy Gunn has to be there.
Yeah,
so he's definitely coming. He has to come. They might throw in a very, very small cheap joke, not a big, but just a tiny cheap joke, just to get the crowd laughing a little bit and what's not. Be like, hey man, where have you been? Sort of joke, and then and that's really it. That's really it. But continue. What else were you saying?
I think. Oh no, just with that, I think if for some reason he doesn't show up, they'll kind of poke fun about it.
Yeah.
Billy wanted to be here, but he said something about scissoring.
Something. Yeah.
They'll tease. I don't know, but
I
hope he does show up because Tony Khan is first and foremost a wrestling fan, so it's the kind of thing where it's such a monumental occasion. He wouldn't have an issue with it. Mm-hmm. Triple H being in charge, I know he wouldn't have an issue with it. So unless for some reason AEW is taking place on the other side of the country and it's a traveling issue, I don't see why Billy doesn't. Especially if they have X-Pac and Road. You can't have Road Dogg without Billy Gunn.
There you go.
I mean, they're the New Age Outlaws. It's both of them or neither of them.
There you go.
So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. This should all be there.
But from there, brother, we are working towards both a Saudi Arabia card, which normally doesn't.
I'm pretty sure that's
we talked about it being a one. Is it? Yeah, that one's coming up on top of War Games. So,
there you go.
This looks to be the pay-per-view that kind of projects us into, that next chapter of kind of, all right, we've had Triple H established. Let's see what he can show us now.
Yeah.
So a lot to be looking forward to. Exciting things coming up. But always a pleasure kicking it with you, bro.
Yes, sir. And the feeling is always mutual. And again, to everyone out there listening, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Professional Heels Podcast. You have me, Brennan Cabino, also known as the Black John Cena. And you have a man, Gavin Gabriel, also known as the Sexy Goldberg. And on that note, we bid you adieu.